And if you've gone out on a shopping spree for yourself and picked up a next-gen console, then the shopping doesn't stop there, my friend. You now want a high-end TV with 120Hz, variable refresh rate, all of that. Look, if that sounds arcane to you, we are going to break it down for you on this special episode of Tech Today. Also, have you been naughty or nice? Now, that's a Christmas special waiting to happen, but we've been tracking exactly what you've been doing on Google search for the whole year. That's something to look forward to. Also, remember the time when we ended up going to Malmesbury in England to meet Mr. James Dyson, and he showed us the Dyson Zone, those really cool air-purifying headphones? Of course, you have a first look on Tech Today, but now the price is out, and we're going to censor it. Spoiler alert, it's a whopping price tag that can actually buy you the next iPhone, perhaps. All that and a lot more on a very special episode of Tech Today. Well, if you started running a victory lap because you've sourced a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, maybe what, for 50,000-60,000 rupees, and then you add another 20,000-30,000 rupees on these really cool InZone H9 Sony noise-cancelling wireless gaming headphones, which you can connect to your PlayStation 5 and to a gaming PC, and then you've spent maybe 60,000-70,000 rupees on this set. But then you might want another controller, so another 5,000 rupees. What if I told you that all of this combined is not even half the price of a fitting TV to match this sort of power on your console? So what you really need to be in the market for, if you're not already and you're using maybe a 4- or 5-year-old TV, an LED or an LCD or a plasma, and I don't know, one of those box TVs, we need to have a conversation about that. You need to purchase one of the newer TVs on the market, which are built for gaming. What are the things you need? Well, you'll hear terms like a higher refresh rate. You don't want 60 FPS. These consoles need to be future-proofed at least 120 FPS. Ray tracing should be a feature, and we've spoken about on the show, which you can use and show off to your near and dear ones. That's not all. You also need features like a variable refresh rate, and most importantly, bright HDR, 4K, Ultra HD screens is the norm if you have a console. So what I did was, I did a lot of research. I don't just give you advice on the show. I personally do a lot of research on my own devices and the questions that you guys ask on our social media handles as well. One question we always got was all about the LG C1, the predecessor to the TV that I emptied my bank balance out on, the LG C2. This is not a review unit. This is not sponsored, of course, none of this is. This is a genuine Tech Today review after you have nothing left in your bank account. The LG C2 OLED, is it a true bang for your buck for gaming? Well, that's what we're going to find out on Tech Today. So what I've gone for is the 55-inch LG C2. If your viewing distance is 8 to 10 feet or 11 feet, you can make do with this. Of course, a bigger TV is even better. You get this for 65 inches, but if you get a good deal on the C2 for the 55-inch variant, I think it does the job, especially for gaming, because you're going to be sitting a little closer. Now, why do I like this TV? That's because LG really is the OG when it comes to OLED screens. And these magic remotes, which are pretty cool on this TV, you can literally use this remote and point to anything on WebOS. And this pointer approach is amazing. Even elder people in your family won't have an issue trying to figure out the remote. It has a laser pointer, and that's what's truly magical about the magic remote. If you don't want to use it in this magical form, then you can just use these hard buttons. The thing that I like most about this, if you're using this and hooking this up with a PlayStation, is if you're playing a video game, you switch on the game and you automatically detects that the game is on out here. Now, for these purposes, we can just start it. And supposing you're playing a game of FIFA, because everyone's playing FIFA, we're all going football crazy. Even whilst you're playing this game, you can see my formation right there. You click on the settings tab right here, and this is a quick setting that is meant for gaming. For instance, if you want to change the frame rate or you want to assess what kind of frame rate is on the screen, it's available over here. Do you want to switch on VRR in some particular mode, variable refresh rate, which is really interesting. You want to change the particular mode. This is a sports game, so I've put it on sports, but you can switch it to standard, FPS heavy, RPG, RTS. So I think that makes this a very interesting device. You can also go into multi-view, where you can automatically go side by side, picture in picture, AirPlay something, launch a combination of any of these, even have YouTube on whilst maybe you're streaming or watching Tech Today. There's a game optimizer right here. You click on it and it opens a bigger menu right here where you have a bunch of settings that you can geek out on. And honestly, this seems very ordinary for most people, but like I said, if you are talking about a gaming console being hooked up to this, look, these gaming consoles are incredibly powerful. In fact, they're overpowered. Sony took a while to launch the PlayStation 5. So did Microsoft with the Xbox. They are overpowered, future ready for the next 4 or 5 years. Hence, your TV should be as well, not only on the hardware front, but also on the software front. And LG with the C1 and now the C2 has done just that. And I think that gives me the sort of functionality and capabilities that a gaming rig or a gaming setup with a PC does. To some extent, that customization makes the gamer inside me, very, very happy. You know, we keep talking about shallow depth of field and what these big sensors do on the iPhone and how they're getting so much more like professional cameras, but that's happening on the C2 as well. And if you're watching a show like Wednesday, the second or third most popular show in Netflix viewing history, but when I'm talking about shallow depth of field, I think LG's chip really does a lot of work over here, because while this is cinematic and one of the most popular shows on Netflix, you can see how the background is blurred perfectly. And maybe that's how the filmmakers or the people who made this show wanted it to be. Look, you can't go wrong with even a Samsung or a Sony TV if that's in your budget. But small features that make the LG C2 worth the money that you're paying for. And it's a lot of money, so you got to be mindful of that. For instance, there's low input lag across all of its HDMI ports. It really does support Dolby Vision gaming, which is really cool. You can sort out all the variable refresh rate features that you want. It has AMD FreeSync Premium, NVIDIA G-Sync, and of course it comes with the right sort of support for your console. Now that's why I invested in this TV, but it does come with its fair set of quirks, and we have to tell you that on Tech Today as well. Now, if you're in this sort of a room, which is the Tech Today studio, there's light coming in from all corners. In the day, that can be a little bit of an issue with this glossy finish. The reflections really don't let you enjoy the charm of the TV, which you can right now in darker environments. Even the studio lighting right now, if this was a slightly lighter scene, you would see some sort of a reflection, but that's a problem with a lot of TVs. You have to sacrifice something to get some gains, especially if you like gaming or watching content at night. If you do some market research, you'll find out that brands like Hisense, View, or even Xiaomi are offering great TVs, which are not OLEDs, they could be LEDs or QLEDs, with decent features nearing the 1 lakh price point. You shell out a few bucks more, and you could get the LG C2. Technically, if you shell out a little bit more, you could get the G2, and then a little bit more, you could get a Sony OLED, but that's an endless cycle, so let's not get into that. The C2, if you get a deal, maybe from one of the retailers offline, under 1,20,000 rupees, is a fantastic TV. Stellar performance, especially if you're into gaming. So summing it all up in one line, if you're willing to shell out a little bit more than 1 lakh rupees and want the latest and greatest in the world of gaming from LG as an OLED TV, the C2 is a safe bet. Data breach, Trojan horse, denial of service, vulnerability, botnet, this, that. Cybersecurity is a fascinating topic, but the problem with it is that it often seems arcane or scary or intimidating to most of us common folk, because it seems to be cybersecurity professionals talking about this very scary, murky world, and then of course businesses being worried about some of the ramifications, as they rightly should. Governments, businesses, they're often the subject or target of an attack, and that's why education about this space is very important. We at Tech Today wanted to bring you the real pictures, the real visuals. In fact, we want to take you to a state-of-the-art cybersecurity hub here in India and speak to the IBM chief, Sandip Patel, about what the company is doing when the threat landscape seems to be evolving and what a state-of-the-art cybersecurity hub can do to actually fight all of these threats. Here's a Tech Today exclusive.
Today we are here at the X-Force Cyber Range. It's one of the two highly sophisticated cybersecurity hubs by IBM. And here we are joined by Mr. Sandip Patel, Managing Director of IBM India South Asia. Thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, could you tell our viewers something about the Cyber Range and the SOC, which my viewers can see behind me?
So look, this is aligned with our belief that as we continue to see technology proliferate and technology innovation continuing to grow, the whole element around security becomes a lot more pronounced. It's really important. So what you see here, our cyber range, as well as our X-Force command center that you see here, the next-gen SOC, that is all a part of a multi-million-dollar investment that IBM has made in ensuring that we are there for our clients to help them continue to build out a very robust enterprise-grade security infrastructure. And it is built around four key themes. One is to align the security posture with business strategy, very important. Second, we need to continue to monitor what's going on in the world out there, because I think as technology, innovation, evolution continues to grow, the bad actors will continue to sort of get more creative, right? So we've got to have constant vigilance monitoring. Third is, how do we manage the overall infrastructure, the technology infrastructure that any client, any organization, any government has. And then the last piece is, how are you proactive in terms of being vigilant about monitoring this and driving this on an ongoing basis.
We hope you've been enjoying this Tech Today 1-year anniversary special. Once again, thanks so much for watching the first half of this show. But like I always say, picture abhi baki hai. The second half of this show is going to be a lot more fun, where we find out exactly what you, the Tech Today community, has been up to. I'll see you on the other side.
कौन आए थे अभी? राहुल जी। राहुल गांधी। आप क्या उनको क्या पूछना चाहेंगी?
पूछना तो है, हमारे आदमी तो खत्म है, हमारी पेंशन 500 रुपया होते।
पेंशन नहीं मिली है?
500 माला से।
थोड़ी फटफटार गल लाग रही है, कोई नौकरी को लगा रही है।
गंदा पानी कौन लागे, काश्तकार हम कोई पानी भी कौन मांगे तो पानी।
गंदा पानी का प्रॉब्लम है, तो ये सब उनसे बात करनी चाहिए। वो रुके नहीं, आप चाहते थे कि वो रुके। आपको पेंशन का प्रॉब्लम है, आपको धंधा पानी का प्रॉब्लम है, बच्चों को नौकरी है कि नहीं घर में? नहीं मिलती।
हमारे तो एक पागल और है, पागल जी की पेंशन का मंत्री।
तो आप चाहते थे कि राहुल जी रुके और आपकी बात सुने।
जाना था जब कोई बताया कौन?
रुकने को नहीं मिला। So while Rahul Gandhi does speak to some of the people who stopped, there are others who simply watch him go by. So they have concerns which they hope that Rahul Gandhi will address. क्या अच्छा लगता है कि राहुल गांधी आए हैं यहाँ कि नहीं?
अच्छा लगा।
पर आप चाहते थे कि रुके।
फसान में नहीं पड़े, कोई बताया कौन फसान में नहीं पड़े, जो कोई तो दिखे कोई न कोई।
राहुल गांधी से मिलने आए।
आप राहुल गांधी से मिलने आए, क्या पूछना चाहती है राहुल गांधी से?
राहुल गांधी से मिलवाया था।
आप मिलना चाहती है उनसे?
माँ के पानी की व्यवस्था नहीं है।
आप चाहती है उनसे कहें कि पानी की व्यवस्था करें?
माँ कोई धंधा नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो आप चाहती है पानी की व्यवस्था करें। कौन सा गाँव है आपका?
यह दो है, वो एक व्यवस्था नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो आप चाहती है कि राहुल गांधी रुके और आपकी बात सुने?
राहुल गांधी रोकने रहने की व्यवस्था नहीं है। बात करा जा राहुल गांधी से।
आपको अच्छा लगता है कि राहुल गांधी आए हैं यहाँ कि नहीं?
अच्छा लगा।
हाँ, लेकिन आप चाहते हैं कि आपसे मिले।
बात सुने।
क्या बात करना चाहते हैं आप?
यहाँ कई सारी परेशानियां हैं, पानी की है,
हाँ,
और कई जो व्यवस्था है उनको सुगम बना सके।
तो पानी की सबसे बड़ी समस्या है।
सबसे बड़ी समस्या।
तो आप चाहते हैं कि राहुल गांधी? हाँ जी
सर, ये दुकानें हैं,
हाँ,
10 फुट दूर ट्रांसफार्मर लग रही होते हैं, लेकिन 10 महीना होगा कनेक्ट
Welcome back to Tech Today. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi. Now this is a very special episode because Tech Today is a year older, but I'm not sure if we're a year wiser. But something we've gotten very smart about is tracking what you've been doing on Google. The Tech Today team knows exactly what you're searching for on the popular search engine, and that's what we wanted to compile in a special report and bring to you. Over to you, Rachna. Rachna? Hello? Is the report ready?
Oh, hi. No, I was trying to work. Guess no point lying. You did catch me red-handed there. I was actually Googling my way into all of these sports references and jokes that I've been hearing a lot lately in office. Ever since this FIFA World Cup has started, this FIFA fever has taken over not only the office but the whole world, I feel. So I was just trying to Google my way into these references and jokes that you also make quite a bit, Aayush. So I don't want to feel left out. So Google is my friend here for all the questions I have, no matter how naive they are. Over the years, I've always turned to Google. And it's not just me who turns to Google, the whole world does. So let's take a look at all that Indians were Googling throughout the year of 2022. Let's go, shall we? Though 2022 was a bit of a rough year with COVID-19 variants coming from everywhere, we eventually got to the good days when offices, markets started opening up, and best of all, cinema theatres started opening up. With that, Google found out that this year's two of the most searched movies were Brahmastra Part 1 and KGF Chapter 2. But seriously guys, what were you guys searching for when it came to Brahmastra? Such a bummer it was. Whereas Rocky Bhaiya's KGF Chapter 2 sort of deserved the hype that it got. And as the world reopened in 2022, Google saw a rise in number of searches with the phrase near me. So people were searching for shopping places near me to take out restaurants near me. But wait, come back. There was something more that was searched for, and that was the COVID-19 vaccine near me. And rightfully so, after all, it was the vaccine that led to the reopen. And though one may think that with the rise in number of searches for takeout restaurants, the lockdown chefs have dialed down their enthusiasm, that's certainly not true. Recipes were searched for throughout the year, and 2 out of the 10 recipes that were searched for had paneer in them. Paneer Pasanda and Paneer Bhurji were 2 of the most searched recipes on Google this year. Did you search for them? After all, who does not like a good paneer? I'll tell you who doesn't like it. Me, because I can't stand paneer at all. I don't know how you guys do it. Our love for cricket remains eternal, right? And that's exactly what we found out in Google Search of the Year as well. Where in a year when there were sporting events happening around the world, there was Wimbledon, there was Australian Open, there was FIFA World Cup, Indian Premier League remained the top most searched sports event in India. Well, clearly no surprises there. We all love our IPL and we all love our cricket. On that note, I'm in the middle of watching a very important match, so let me get back to you a little later. Now, as I was saying, as Indians, our love for cricket is very clear. But what was surprising in this year's Google search list was that ISL has made it, Indian Super League. Well, clearly, we have enough space for cricket as well as football. And what was better, when we speak about cricket, there was also ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. That was one of the most searched sports events around the world. So, I would say, go women in blue. Well, 2022 was truly about getting your lives back together, back to the pre-COVID norms. But did we remember how did we do the regular stuff that we do before the 2 years of lockdown? I certainly did not, and most Indians also didn't. But one of the most how-to questions that was asked on Google was how to download vaccine certificate. Super friendly advice, keep that one handy. It's the most important document right now. Apart from that, people also tried asking Google how to link Aadhaar card to voter's card, how to file their income tax returns, how to bake a banana bread. Well, that one is real complicated, and good luck if you're trying to do that. I would like to be invited for it. Well, you made it till here. So now that we're here, here's a quick pop quiz for you. What is it that UK's newly appointed Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, Sushmita Sen, Amber Heard and Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde all have in common? I'll give you 2 seconds to answer. So 1, 2, here's the answer. They were the most searched personalities on Google this year. Isn't that fascinating? Well, that concludes it then. Google has definitely become an inseparable part of our lives. You know what else should be a part of your life? Tech Today. I know most of you all watch us on YouTube, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel and keep coming back to watch such interesting videos. Till then, we would want to know what did you search for, so do comment and let us know.
Rolling and action. Action.
Just 1 second, I just want to check what the air quality index is like here in Mumbai. And that's a nifty feature on the Apple Watch. Okay, the air quality index as we speak and shoot this episode of Tech Today at the Tech Today studio is 123. On the Apple Watch, that's a very good feature that I use all the time. I'm almost obsessive, compulsive about it. A few days ago, the AQI levels were very bad here in Mumbai for obvious geographical reasons. In Delhi, they're hovering around 400, 500 all the time. Now, these are extremely polluted conditions. But what if I told you that there's a vacuum maker, a really cool vacuum maker, who now makes a headphone, which you actually saw the first time on Tech Today, the first time anywhere in the world. It's a company called Dyson. When we visited their headquarters in Malmesbury and met Mr. James Dyson, the OG inventor, he presented to us the Dyson Zone. Now I'm going to show you what the Dyson Zone is from that first look back in that Tech Today exclusive from Malmesbury, but I want to tell you why we're talking about it now, because it's in the news today, in December 2022, many months later, because they've actually revealed the price. I'll tell you, as a spoiler alert, what the price is, then we'll give you our verdict on what we actually experienced during that particular experience. The price is a whopping, wait for it, $950. Let's leave it at that, but first, have a look at the Dyson Zone. Well, you've seen many an unboxing on Tech Today, but this one is special. In fact, I'm doing this in reverse. I put it right down there. This isn't from DC Comics. It's actually at the Dyson campus. This is the new Dyson Zone. And what this essentially is a pair of headphones. You've seen all sorts of headphones on the show. That comes with a visor. But this isn't just an ordinary visor. What this does do is it purifies the air around you, and it's all packed in this nifty setup that actually snaps on magnetically. I'll tell you how it works essentially. You're looking at a pair of noise-cancelling headphones and they sound darn good at it as well. But when you actually look at this end of the headphones, they come with massive drivers, and this is what lies beneath this metal mesh. It's a filter, which on this side obviously has carbon fiber, which purifies the air that's coming in. There's a lot of geeky lingo that I could use, but I'm just going to go with the basics so you get what I'm talking about. This will purify the air. That air will come in through this into the mesh, and when you put it on, you're essentially breathing clean air. I think this filter can actually filter out maybe 99% of all the pollution around you, and I think this would have, well, an interesting use case, especially back home in India. Even here in London, I think this is very useful. It also comes with a really cool app, and it comes in this case, this box, which has a USB-C charger. I know you're always asking about this. I don't know about the power brick, maybe you'll know in some time, but yes, I'm guessing you can use a standard USB-C adapter. That's all the consumer tech to it, but I think in terms of a use case, I've used this right now, I was demoing it, the music sounds good. It's purifying the air that you use. The guys at Dyson clearly know how to use, well, air purifiers and all sorts of cleaning equipment. This is an interesting mix for them to get into the audio space and, well, come in with some sort of embellishment which makes it very useful. Well, watching that Dyson Zone piece really got me emotional, because we've come a long way since we set this show up, and I remember the first episode. In fact, it was precisely 1 year ago to this week that we went on air with Tech Today. And now Tech Today has grown from not just a TV show, but we're there in the Business Today magazine, we have a website, and there's so much content where we want to reach you, the Tech Today community. If you want to reach us, then you always can on our social media handles. And the names you must be seeing below on the credit roll. And the entire team at Business Today and at the India Today Group says a huge thank you to you for watching us and for supporting us. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi, also saying a huge thank you and a huge shout out to you guys. And like we always say, until next week, adios.
Nirali, you want to come in on this? You know, this is something we've become far too familiar with, these kind of controversies, hashtags of boycott this film and that. You know, what are you thinking about all of this?
Thank you. And honestly speaking, I'm a part and parcel of the industry. And I do understand the concept of creativity and a lot of freedom that we take in the name of creativity. However, I have to mention that right now is a time. There are certain things which are very sensitive. So my point of view is that yes, I do understand. I mean, I saw the song definitely after reading about the controversy. The color and the word specifically the Besharam word that has been used. Not specifically maybe to that particular color that Dika is wearing, but yes, what I feel is, I've just been listening to you